So microbiology. So the first unit, it includes introduction. In that, importance and relevance to nursing, historical perspectives, concepts and terminologies of microbiology, and principles of microbiology. So let us start this first unit first, and we'll finish it, and we'll jump to other chapters of your microbiology subject. So let us see the term meaning microbiology. So there are two terms here. When we break up the microbiology into two terms, micro and biology. So micro means small, as you all know. Micro means small. Biology means study of a life. Bio means life. Logy means study of. So biology means study of life. So this microbiology means it is a study of small organisms. Microbiology is the study of organisms that are too small to be seen without magnification. So, such as small organisms which need to be magnified to see means they are not visible to our naked eyes. We need a magnifiers, that is microscope, ultra microscope likewise. So such a organisms, they play a very important role in our life. So they lead to infections, they lead to many illnesses, and they are used in industries, they are used in agriculture or some bakeries and all. So in our day to day life we face with many organisms. So organisms are present everywhere in our mouth, gastrointestinal system, on our skin, and around the eyes, on our head. So all through our body there are organisms, and they are not causing any harm to our health condition. So they are not that infectious. So when our immune system goes down, so such a organisms, normal flora of microorganisms, it is called as, they become infectious, they cause infection to us. So let us discuss this chapter today, introduction chapter, that is first unit. It includes importance and relevance to nursing, why nurses need to learn microbiology, and historical aspects, how the microbiology has evolved since its beginning, and then concepts and terminologies which are used in the study of microbiology we are going to study, and some of the principles of microbiology we are going to study here in this. So microbiology includes the study of small organisms which are invisible to our naked eyes. They need to be magnified under microscope to study their features. So microbiology is, in short, we can say that a science that deals with the study of microorganisms. So that is known as microbiology. There are different branches of microbiology. So microbiology is applied in different areas. There are many different branches of microbiology. Let us see the different branches of microbiology here. So the first one is medical microbiology, a study of microorganisms which are dealing with our health issues. So the study of microorganisms which lead to some of the illnesses, diseases. So a study of all that in a medical field is known as medical microbiology. In next, second branch of microbiology is industrial microbiology. So the microorganisms are used in industries to produce some products, or you can say alcohol is produced with the help of microorganisms. Yeast they use, even in bakery products also they use yeast, and even to produce a curd from milk, you are going to use some microorganisms. So uh, to produce some products in industries they use microorganisms, a study of all that constitutes industrial microbiology. And then next is third one, food microbiology, in processing the food and in dealing with the food items. So they use microorganisms, that is known as food microbiology. And then soil microbiology in relation with the earth. So there are some microorganisms which help in utilization of electrolytes and minerals by trees and crops. So the farmer facilitates the growth of microorganisms in the soil so that things they get rotten, means they are used by the crops or trees. So such a use of microorganisms in soil or study of microorganisms in the soil, that all constitutes soil microbiology. And then next is plant microbiology, a growth of microorganisms on the surface of plants. So that is another branch of microbiology. So these are all different types of or different branches of microbiology, but most important thing which we are dealing with in our nursing profession is medical microbiology, because we are dealing with the health related issues, and these health related issues are caused by some of the microorganisms. A study of all that in relation to the health condition of the people constitutes a medical microbiology. So again, the medical microbiology has following different types of branches. So let us see them. Parasitology, which studies the parasites, so small microorganisms which are dependent on human beings, that is called as parasitology. And then mycology. So here in mycology we are going to study about the fungi which cause diseases in human beings. So that is known as mycology, study of fungi. And then immunology, it is concerned with the mechanism involved in the development of resistance by body to infectious diseases. Immunology means a study of immune related problems. So immunity, how our body fights against the infections, resistance power of our body against the microorganisms. So all that also is studied in microbiology, medical microbiology, immunology, a separate chapter, a separate branch. And then bacteriology, a separate branch of medical microbiology which deals with the bacterias. Different bacterias are there which cause different infections. A study of all that bacteria in relation with the health condition of the people is known as bacteriology. And then genetics also comes here. So the study of heredity and variations. So how the characters are transferred from one generation to other generation, and how the variations are taking place in an individual's offsprings. Even though the parents are same, the children are different. How the variations are taking place, a study of all that transfer of characters from one generation to other generation, and variations which are taking place in offsprings. A study of all that is known as genetics, a branch of microbiology, medical microbiology. Next branch of medical microbiology is virology, a systematic study of viruses which are causing different illnesses or sickness in an individual, infections to an individual, that is known as virology. Now currently the issue is going on with the coronavirus, that is causing infections and spreading very fast. It has come all the way from Wuhan, a city of China. So it is also called as biological war or biological weapon. Corona is a biological weapon in a very cheap way of fighting with other countries. So is creating such a viruses and spreading them among the people and killing the people. It is known as biological war. That virus is used as a weapon rather than using guns bomb or atom bombs or anything else. They are just simply creating a virus and they are spreading so that the people go on dying. That is another way of fighting with other countries. They are doing it by China. You all know that coronavirus, it has started from Wuhan city, which is there in China. So that is also there. Virology is the study of viruses. So this is all about the branches of microbiology. So next let us see how much important the study of microbiology is. So where all this microbiology is applied. So especially we are concentrating on medical microbiology, and all other branches of microbiology are of not that important for our study purpose here in this syllabus. So let us discuss, concentrate or restrict our discussion to medical microbiology. So here health issues related microorganisms are studied. So first scope here it is diagnostic. So what we do is we take a sample of blood, or we take a sample of some stool or urine or some other body fluids, and what we do is we undertake a systematic study of that body discharges or blood or urine or any discharge from the body, and we isolate the organisms to diagnose the condition. So means if you get a salmonella typhi in a blood, we are going to diagnose a condition it as a typhoid. Vidal test we are going to do with a sample of blood. So to diagnose the condition, we are going to take a sample of blood or any body discharge or any body fluid, and we are going to undertake a systematic study of that sample to recognize the kind of organism, small organism in that, which is responsible for the causation of the disease. So this microbiology, study of microbiology, helps in diagnosing the conditions. For example, we can take a sample of blood. If we find salmonella typhi in blood, we can diagnose it as a typhoid. That helps in diagnosing the conditions. Next, second scope here, it is prognosis of a disease. How much problematic the condition is, we can understand by undertaking the microbiological studies on organisms which are causing the condition. And then this microbiology, a subject, medical microbiology, helps in treating the conditions. Not only helps in diagnosing the condition, it even guides us in treating the conditions. Which antibiotic is sensitive against which microorganisms? So all that can be studied. Culture and sensitivity test is there. So if you find out some organism, you can submit that organism to different antibiotics in a laboratory. So it will tell you to which antibiotic this particular organism is responsive. The lab technician will give the list of antibiotics to which the organism is resistant, to which antibiotic the organism is sensitive. So all that list will be provided by the lab technician so that the doctor can choose one best antibiotic to treat that infection. So even it helps in treating the conditions. And next, even the study of medical microbiology helps us to find out the source of infection, how the infection has occurred, so from where exactly the organism has come, so which where is the source of organism, from where it has arisen. So you all know now coronavirus is spreading all through the world, but the people, scientists are telling that the first coronavirus was first recognized in a Wuhan city of China, because they were eating some animal, something they are telling. So they recognized the source of infection from the Wuhan city of China. It is spreading all through the world. Even you see in our Belgium also we have more than 100 cases of corona positive cases are there. So spreading very fast all through the world. So that this medical microbiology helps us to study the source from where it is coming. So that is a source of infection. A study of source of infection is also possible with microbiology. And then detection of a new pathogens and then development of a vaccines. Take an example now. New organism is detected, that is coronavirus. So it might be the result of evolution. Many mutations have taken place, a new virus has arisen. So for this virus there is no vaccine, there are no drugs. So that is why the people are dying all through the world. People are suffering like anything. Economy has gone down. So all the countries are suffering badly. So, the microbiology helps us to find vaccines and drugs to fight against such a coronavirus. Scientists, they are working hard everywhere, all over the world. The scientists are very busy in finding the vaccines and drugs for coronavirus. They are doing their best, and ultimately very shortly within 1 month or 2 months we are going to get a treatment for coronavirus or vaccine for coronavirus, it is for sure. To find out the drugs and vaccines for such a new organism is possible only with the help of microbiology. A knowledge of microbiology is helping us to find out the new drugs to fight against new organisms. So these are all some of the points which explain you about the scope of microbiology. Next, let us discuss about the importance and relevance of study of microbiology for nurses, for nursing officers. Why there is a need of microbiological knowledge? So why nursing officers need to study microbiology? Let us see. So you all know nurses will be working in a hospitals 24 hours, one or the other nurse. They will be there, they will be dealing with the patients. So in a hospitals, the patients will be suffering from different diseases. So those different diseases are caused by different organisms. Infections are caused by different types of microorganisms. To understand about the infections and pathological changes and all signs and symptoms and treatment modalities for the infections, the nurse need to understand about different types of microorganisms. How is the pathology of causation? So the knowledge of microbiology is very important for the nurse. There are some points they will explain you about importance of study of microbiology for nurses. Let us see. The first point explains to prevent the spread of infection. As you all know, there will be many patients, hundreds of patients will be there in a ward, and the nurse will be taking some measures to prevent the spread of infection from one patient to other patient. One patient is suffering from malaria, another patient is suffering from chikungunya, another patient is suffering from dengue, another patient is suffering from typhoid, another person is suffering from chicken pox, smallpox, skin infections. So these all different conditions are caused by different microorganisms. So the knowledge of microbiology is very important for the nurse to study all these conditions and to prevent the patient from suffering with organisms. In a hospital, the patient has come for the treatment of typhoid. He is having salmonella typhi organism and he has come for the treatment. If the patients all are using same toilet, bathroom and other things in a hospital, so there is a chance of transfer of typhoid, salmonella typhi organism to all other patients. All other patients in a ward are at risk to develop typhoid, because there is a typhoid patient, he is using same toilet bathroom, so he can transfer the organisms to others, because it is a fecal-oral route. Entry is fecal-oral route, means it can enter through the water, food, or any other measures. So the nurse, knowledgeable nurse, will take care that the infection of one patient will not be transferred to or spread to any other patient. She will take some measures to prevent that spread of infection from one patient to other patient. To combat infectious diseases, so means in a hospital, as I told you, there will be a cross infection. One patient's infection is transferred to other patient. To handle that, the nursing officer needs the knowledge of microbiology. And then next is collection of specimens to study the microorganisms. So we collect different specimens to study the organisms which are causing the disease. Study the causation of a disease, we need to collect the specimens for diagnosis, means to undertake a studies, means under microscope we are going to detect the particular kind of organism which is leading to infection. So for that we need to send the specimens like a blood sample or a urine sample or some cerebrospinal fluid sample or a stool sample or sputum. You should collect the sputum for culture. So likewise different body specimens are collected and they are sent to the laboratory for the study. To do this function, nurse needs the knowledge of microbiology to collect the and to send the specimen to laboratory. Nurse needs the knowledge of microbiology. And next is to identify a specific pathogen and to administer recommended antibiotic. As I told you earlier, culture and sensitivity test. They will take the specimen, they will send it to the laboratory. In the laboratory, lab technician will do the systematic study of that specimen. He will recognize the organism and later he will find out the antibiotic which can control the infection. There will be series of antibiotics, so he will identify one particular antibiotic to which the organism is sensitive and responsive. So that is known as a culture and sensitivity test. So that also needs the knowledge of microbiology. The nursing officer needs the knowledge of microbiology to undertake such a study. Culture and sensitivity it is called as. And next is to create and maintain a sterile field. In a hospital, patients they vomit, they pass urine, they pass stool everywhere, and there will be many body discharges, they will be falling around the floor, and even the bed sheet is infected, blanket is infected, pillow cover is infected. So this all needs to be understood by the nurse to clean, to keep the ward clean. So always there will be a group D workers. You should ask them to clean the ward with a hypochlorite solution to kill all organisms which are there on floor. And you should send the bed sheet, blanket, pillow cover all to the Dobi for cleaning. And then periodically you should expose the mattress and pillows to the sunlight so that they can kill the organisms. So maintaining the clean environment, sterile environment everywhere in a hospital, especially in OTs, burn ward, and neonatal ICUs, you need to keep a sterile field. There should not be any organism in the environment inside the operation theater, because you are opening the abdomen. If you are opening the abdomen, if the organism is there in the environment, directly it will enter and it will cause the infection. There will be a delay in healing of surgery wound. So to prevent all that, you should provide a sterile environment in particular areas. And then next is dispose of biomedical waste products. There will be a different types of wastes in a hospital. So plastic waste will be there, sharp waste will be there, glass waste will be there, gloves will be there, and infected dressing materials will be there, and general waste will be there. So there are many different color codings for a dustbins. General waste you can place in a green dustbin, and all infected materials you should keep in a yellow dustbin, and all plastic and gloves you should keep in a red dustbin, and all glass and sharp instruments in a blue dustbin, and sharp needles and blades in a white can with a hypochlorite solution. So this knowledge you are going to get in microbiology. So the microbiology gives this knowledge to the nursing officer. So for that purpose, we need to learn microbiology. And then next is immunization schedule. There are many communicable diseases against which we are taking immunization. BCG, we take TT, diphtheria, DPT vaccination. So measles vaccination, polio vaccination. So these are all vaccinations against the communicable diseases to protect ourselves. This knowledge of microbiology helps you to work in an immunization center. So to learn more and more about immunization schedule, a nursing officer needs to learn the microbiology. And there are many other things here. Let us discuss, explain the importance of hand washing. So you will go on educating the people regarding importance of hand washing. So you also, when you touch one patient, you should wash the hands and you should go to the next patient. Otherwise you will be carrying the organisms from one patient to other patient. So now corona is going on, so you all know the importance of hand washing, putting mask and wearing goggles. So because the coronavirus can enter through the mouth, nose and eyes, so you are protecting them all. Even you will educate the general public and all the patients and patients attenders. To do this function you need a knowledge of microbiology. And then isolation of infected patients. If the patient is suffering from any measles or mumps or any other communicable diseases, you will keep them in a separate ward, so that no one patient, other patient will go inside, because the infection can be transferred with a touch. So if the other patient touches the other patient, so he will get the infection. So such a patients who are suffering from communicable diseases will be kept in isolation wards. And then next, all the body discharges, blood, body fluids must be considered as infectious. They contain organisms. They are prone to transfer the infections. So you should handle them very carefully. And you should wear the gloves when you are handling the blood or any body discharges. And then wear mask, goggle, eye protector, gown. So when you are dealing with a infectious patient, when there is a chance of splash of body fluid or blood or any other secretions, you should protect yourself. If you are protected, if you are safe, you can take care of many hundreds of patients. If you get infected, there is no use. First and foremost priority here is to protect your own self with a gown, cap, mask and eye protectors like goggles. So next is single use materials. After use you will discard them in a respective dustbins. And then proper sterilization of reusable items. Some of the items in a hospital, they are reusable. You will send them for autoclaving, sterilization, because they needs to be used again. And then proper disposal of biomedical wastes also is needed. And then infection control committee, in that doctor will be there, infection control officer, he is physician, otherwise called as doctor, and the nurse will be there, infection control nurse she is, and the medical microbiologist also will be there. In every hospital there will be an infection control team. So infection control committee, a nurse plays a very important role in that committee So to play a role in infection control committee, nurse needs to have a knowledge of microbiology. And so if there is a patient in isolation ward, you should keep the instructions. So who all need to enter inside. For all the instructions for the visitors, you will paste it on a door. Even for a nurses, what all care needs to be taken before entry. And then unnecessary use of antibiotics may decrease the sensitivity of microorganisms, so that also can be taken care with the knowledge of microbiology. Unnecessary use of antibiotics is not recommended. It will decrease the sensitivity of microorganisms. And then restrict the entry of number of attendants. So some of the times what happens, to see one patient there will be hundreds of patients. You will control the visitors, because hospital is the source of infections. All the people may get infected. You will educate them, you will control their entry into the hospital. And then teaching infection control and isolation, you need a knowledge of microbiology. To all group D workers and all, you should go on giving knowledge. You will keep some indicator that this area is very dangerous, red zone area, yellow zone area, like that you will create. So in a hospital. And then next is, so you'll keep the record of all environmental cultures and surveillance in a one book. And hospital ICUs, hospital wards, hospital OTs, they need to send some swab of floor, wall, and ceiling periodically. They should test the existence of any microorganism in the environment of the hospital. So they should keep everything clean, sterile always. They should send the specimen of swab for the cultural studies. Cultural study will tell you any organism is existing in your environment, in your ward, in your OT, in your ICU, so that you can clean properly with hypochlorite solution, and you can keep a fumigation also, which kills all the organisms and gives a sterile environment. This is all about the importance and relevance of study of microbiology for nursing officers.